Representative Alford from the great state of Missouri for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for holding this all-important meeting, and thank you, Ranking Member Velasquez, as well. The First Amendment is at the heart of what makes this country great. The right to freedom of speech, the prohibition on government infringement is what separates our country from the rest of the world. However, the Biden administration does not agree with this. This administration has been using the power of the executive branch to infringe upon America's right to freedom of speech. While the First Amendment prevents direct government intervention, the administration has found a backdoor by finding and supporting so-called disinformation organizations. There have been more than 500 U.S. federal government contracts or grants awarded on disinformation since 2020. This funding has been used to build a network of government-backed nonprofits, so-called fact-checkers, organizations and foundations to push the left-wing narrative by declaring anything right of the New York Times is disinformation. And they have been successful in doing this. As revealed in an email from a Meta executive to Mark Zuckerberg, quote, "We are facing continued pressure from external stakeholders, including the White House, to remove more COVID-19 vaccine discouragement content." If the federal government is successful in moving companies as large as Meta, with a market cap well over $1 trillion, what can they do to small businesses? I was in the news business for 35 years. My goal was to tell the truth. And when we have organizations like this that are coming in and telling us what the truth is and limiting the truth from getting out, we are in a big world of hurt when it comes to the First Amendment. Ms. Eunice, one of the most disturbing aspects of government-backed censorship was the State Department's support of the Global Disinformation Index, or GDI. The GDI's mission is to catalyze industry and government to defund disinformation. Can you please explain the legal basis upon which your clients brought the case against the State Department and its Global Engagement Center?
There are three main claims. First of all, it's a First Amendment violation because by funding and working with the Global Disinformation Index, which is effectively blacklisting conservative news sites or disfavored news sites, the government is interfering in the marketplace of ideas and effectively censoring our clients. It has to go through a couple of levels. You have to. It's not direct. It's through these mechanisms, and that's what makes it kind of insidious and has been allowing them to get away with it. It's also a problem because the GEC is supposed to be fighting. Their mandate is to fight foreign disinformation. They operate under the State Department, which is about foreign affairs. They're not supposed to be dealing with domestic speech, and they don't even pretend. For instance, there was a presentation which you can look at online in which the GEC's technology and engagement representative, Alexis Frisbee, said that they were having conversations to ensure there's discussion occurring. So I think those are in terms of interaction. That's talking about it at a domestic level. They're not even pretending this is about foreign disinformation anymore.
Mr. Weingarten, NewsGuard is another left-wing organization supposedly ranking disinformation in the news. Let me tell you, just because you have news in your title doesn't mean you're a news organization or you're fit to call what are balls and strikes in the news business. We have dealt with them on the Armed Services Committee. We're getting them out of the business of regulating speech for the DOD. It doesn't only decide which source of media are or not disinformation. They also have partnered with the largest teachers union in the world to teach students about disinformation. What does NewsGuard's partnership with the American Federation of Teachers, a top donor to President Biden, mean for center-right news?
I think it means that the American children are going to get a left-wing or left-wing oriented diet of news content going forward to the extent the relationship persists, and what's called media literacy education increasingly gets mandated in states across the country.
How much of a danger are organizations like NewsGuard to the foundations and principles of America?
I think they pose an existential threat. It would be illiberal for them to exist even if they weren't government funding, but the government funding makes it particularly chilling and disturbing.
This is a very, very disturbing issue that we're dealing with in all realms of government right now in the committees on which we serve. This is of utmost importance because if you can not get information that is unfiltered and the truth to people, we are going to be brainwashed into a liberal, woke, broke ideal of what America truly is. Thank you, and I yield back.